Hey there, internet fans. Today I want to talk about becoming an authority in your topic and an easy way to get that authority. Well, at least to be able to figure out what you should be talking about so you can rank higher in Google. When I'm talking about authority and Google, what Google is telling us nowadays is that they want a real depth of information from creators. So I'm thinking about blog posts as an example. If you are an estate planning attorney, which is what I'm going to be talking about, they don't want to just, a blog post about what an estate planning attorney is and then boom, call it a day. Let me rank number one. No, there's so much other content around estate planning that Google is looking for websites that are creating depth in knowledge around certain content in order to determine ranking factors. But the problem is that takes a lot of time, takes a lot of research. You got to have all these tools. So I want to show you a simple AI tool that is very effective around that. And that is the topical authority for SEO GPT generator. This is made by a gentleman named 𝗘𝗾𝗵. He's overseas, and I've been following 𝗘𝗾𝗵 for a while. And in fact, I'm demoing a content creator tool of his that's really spectacular. I'm going to be talking about that shortly. But this topical authority tool that he created a while back, it's got over 25,000 conversations, over 700 reviews at 4.8 stars out of 5. So this is a very powerful tool. This is really good for people who are just starting out, not sure what to talk about, or if you've been creating content, but you're like, maybe I've got gaps in my content. What is that? All you need to do is open this up. I'm going to put a link. There's a link in here somewhere. I'm going to copy this link into the description for you. All you got to do is put in your niche. In this time, I'm going to talk about estate planning attorney. What this tool is going to do is it's going to do some research on estate planning attorney, and it's going to come back with 20 pillar pages. We got to start breaking estate planning attorney. If that's the hierarchy keyword, let's come up with 20 different sub niches or pillar pages around the topic. And so you can see it came up with wills and trust, probate process, power of attorney, living wills, estate planning, tax, guardianship. These are all important pieces around estate planning. And again, if we're trying to be an authority in estate planning, we need to have a full and complete list of content, not pages, but content, SEO blog content that's going to drive back to those key pages. This is broken down into 3 different rows. You have your title, your description, gives you a brief overview of what you could talk about, and then the URL handle. Personally, I don't worry about the URL handle because I use WordPress and it's going to handle that for me. Now, once it's done that, it's going to ask you to review these pillar pages and make any changes that you want to make. Maybe you don't deal with estate litigation as an example. So you could say, hey, ChatGPT, I don't deal with estate litigation. Could you create a different topic? In this case, I'm just going to continue for the sake of time. And so I'm going to type in continue to let ChatGPT know that it's going to continue. And you can see number 1 is wills and trust right up top, wills and trust. Then it's going to go in the probate, then power of attorney. And we scroll down, we can see that it's starting to create blog content ideas for you around all these different pages. Now, again, it created 20 pillar pages. It's going to create, I think it's another 20, if I'm not mistaken, around each one. So 20 times 20, it's like 400 pieces of content if my math is correct. But let's take a look at wills and trusts. What is a will? Types of wills. What is a trust? Types of trust. Living trust, testamentary trust, revocable trust, and an irrevocable trust, creating a will, creating a trust. These are all content ideas that you should be writing about in order to be an authority on the subject. And I'm going to keep on really stressing that word authority because this is what it takes to rank these days, is to create a well-rounded breadth of content. What is probate, steps in probate, cost of probate, avoiding probate. And then you could even talk about why you want to avoid probate. So you can see these are topics I'm not necessarily going to copy and paste and just create an article called avoiding probate. I want to do maybe avoiding probate for married, avoiding probate if you're single, avoiding probate if you're recently divorced. There's all kinds of topics in there. And again, these are just creating ideas. So this is going to go on and on. At some point, it is going to ask for you to continue generating. So you do want to keep an eye on this. I'm going to go ahead and click continue generate. And you can see it's just going to keep on going through and through. I'm going to pause the video right here. Let's come back when it's all done. All right, it just finished up all 20 of those sub-pillar pages. There is a ton of content here. It lets you know that, hey, I have finished. It's trying to give you a 360 overview of everything. So again, you can become the authority figure in your niche. The other great thing is you've got a couple years worth of content here. Ideally, if your website's been around, you should be creating content daily or every other day. You don't want to do that with a new website. Google doesn't like big shocks like that, but you've got a ton of content in here. One of them that I thought was kind of interesting is it brought in DIY DIY estate planning. This is something I think a lot of business owners will kind of shy away from. DIY, don't do that. These are great topics to talk about the pros and cons. Let people know. Because again, you want to be an authority on thing. And if people are searching for DIY solutions, Google wants to see that you're talking about it. Doesn't mean you have to be pro DIY. What you can do is let people know that, hey, if you're on a budget, maybe go check out Rocket Law or something like that. However, these are some of the things you want to be careful of. And so let them know that there are positives and negatives. Positive is you can probably save some money. It's less expensive. Maybe it's more simple. You don't have to go to a state attorney's office or anything like that. But here's the downside. So don't shy away from these. In order to save all this, all you need to do, start at the bottom, start at the top. It doesn't matter. Just scroll up and just grab everything. And then what I like to do is I will just copy. I will open up a new topic here. If I can get a new page to open. What's going on? I'll just open up. Just go ahead and paste all this information in here, and now you have great content. The other thing I like to do is I will put a publish date. And so let's say I'm going to publish this today at 7/6. So maybe I'm going to go in and create a content. I'll go ahead and do that. And then the other thing I'll do is I'll just highlight it so that I know that this has been this is content that's already been created and I don't want to replicate it or duplicate it. The other thing I recommend doing is talking about figuring out like healthcare directives as an example, creating a healthcare directive and their importance. That's one blog post, but figure out, what else could you talk about? I don't know how big are healthcare directives. In fact, something you could do is just rinse and recycle by going back in here, and let's just click on new chat. Let's put healthcare directives in here and see what comes up. Now it's going to do 20 pillar pages again. So you may end up getting some content that maybe isn't that good because AI is really good at providing answers, but it's not always really good at providing good answers based on its obligation to give you an answer, if that makes sense. So I would just run this again if I wanted to in order to like a pulse form. I forget what that is, but these are really important. There's so much information, so you can see how you can start extracting more and more information out of here, and you will never run out of content ideas with this program. So check it out, try it, leave a comment below, let me know what you think, and if you like it, love it, hate it, what your experience has been. Until next time, take care.